Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Friday CCMA webinar. And we're delighted this morning. You'll see on screen Jessica and Anna from Blizzard Entertainment, I think is the right name, Anna. And we're going to talk about preparing yourself for the future in terms of the future of work. And it's actually a common theme we've had this week, which was interesting. For those of you who made the webinar we had on Wednesday afternoon with Barry Winkles from CPL, it actually was really thought-provoking in terms of the future of work, the future of workforce, you know, not just their whole remote working side of things, how companies are going to change how they use their resources. So Blizzard are a leading light in this space, and delighted this morning that Anna and Jessica are going to share the work that they've been doing in this area. I think it's going to be really interesting in terms of equipping yourself and being prepared for the future. And as always, we're recording it. We're going to take questions at the end because we're tight to half an hour. So any questions that you have or any observations, comments, again, please put them in the chat box over to the right-hand side. And I know Anna and Jessica will share their version of the presentation as well. But I know you don't want any World of Warcraft questions, Anna. You want you're not giving away any tips or hints on this morning's webinar, but what I'll do now is I'll hand over, and thanks again, Anna. And just to say, obviously, just for those who don't know, Anna is one of our CCMA board members, so she's a key part of the CCMA association, and really delighted that herself and Jessica are hosting this morning's event. So thanks, Anna, and thanks, Neva, as always, from WSI.
So good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dorothy. Thank you for having us hosting this webinar for the CCMA today. So my name, as Dorothy mentioned, is Anna Alfajeme, and I lead the customer service teams for Blizzard Entertainment in our European region. I'm also the site leader for our office here in Cork, and have recently acquired the responsibilities to lead our teams in Asia. So I will quickly give you, a bit background as well about Blizzard Entertainment. So what we do anyway, so that it places all of us on the same page. So Blizzard is a video game developer and publisher with headquarters in Irvine, California. So we have millions and millions of customers that play many of our PC, console, or mobile games. And Blizzard is a subsidiary of Activision Blizzard. I'm sure you have heard the titles like World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, Destiny, Candy Crush, and many more. So the customer service staff support players with billing and tech issues, as well as in-game issues or compromised accounts. And Jessica is also here with me today, as she's one of our talented managers to service delivery. And I thought, as I speak about opportunities in the workplace, that there was no better person than herself to share her experience and that of her team members. So thank you, Jess, for being available and for sharing your journey with us. What I'm going just to take a minute is to go through a quote from Halle Berry, where she speaks about opportunities. So when an opportunity comes your way, it's about making sure you are prepared to be the one who can walk through the door and deliver the goods. And I had a lot of luck on my side, and I have been prepared for that luck. So preparing ourselves and our staff today for the future is about taking chances. It's about taking opportunities. Or if there are none, then it's about creating opportunities for ourselves and our teams. We have been working from home for the good of last year. And I think nobody would have told me in March 2020. And I'm sure nobody would have told you either that we would still be working from home in April 2021. Leading teams who are the face of our organizations is an extremely rewarding task when results are achieved. And I'm sure you would all agree that we faced new challenges in these past 12 months as complexity was added when we had to turn our homes into our offices. We had connectivity issues. I'm sure you all experienced that as we did as well. We had people that barely had any IT equipment to function properly. And many of us had distractions from the homeschooling, the dog barking when the postman comes, and obviously with no physical interaction amongst team members, only with the Zoom, WebEx, or other tools that thankfully connected us digitally. So how can we be ahead of the game as we continue to work from home. So being ahead of the game means to innovate, to focus on what is next, regardless of your place of work. And as leaders, do we know all the time what comes next? No, of course we don't. I think leaders can provide the means and the opportunity for people to work well and to generate ideas. So being ahead of the game is letting your people do what they were hired for and get out of the way. Now, I don't mean leaders who teach responsibilities and just let people do what they want. But we need to focus on ensuring that everyone who works for the organization has a clear line of sight to the vision, and that they are provided the means which they can contribute to the big picture. So the challenges, what challenges did we face in Europe, and more specifically in the Cork site this past year? So we needed to support a major game launch while we were working from home. And we needed to create opportunities, for growth, for business growth, and opportunities for employees to develop so that there was no room for stagnation. And last but not least, we also wanted to continue to operate as the center of excellence that we have been, despite of not being in the office or not seeing each other. Now, in my experience, many of the greatest ideas to move the organization forward have come from my frontline staff. And as Dorothy was talking earlier, right, we had one of our colleagues from CPL, Barry, who on Wednesday, he was talking about the future of work, and he was talking about the leadership of the future. He actually said, we are moving from directional leadership to have leaders that empower their staff. So what have we done in these past 12 months to empower our staff that we can share with you today? So in November last year, we launched Shadowlands, the 8th expansion of the World of Warcraft, our massive multiplayer online role-playing game. So to put things in perspective, Shadowlands was the fastest selling PC game of all time. It shipped 3.7 million games within the first 24 hours. Jessica will talk to us later about the Strike Team, an initiative led by employees for employees to support this game release while we continued to service players from our homes. I have to say, not an easy task at that time, but now we look back and we profoundly smile anyway, as we managed to maintain the customer satisfaction and FCR rates high at all times. Before and post Shadowlands, greatest and biggest challenge that we were facing is that we had staff members who struggled with the workload. We had a handful of employees who are single mothers with babies. We had employees with 2 or 3 toddlers, and employees who were taking care of elderly family members. I'm sure this reciprocates in your contact centers and your industries as well. So we found it tough to balance the work and the personal life. And in fairness, I think we all did, to one or another degree. We allowed flex time to meet personal needs. And we also have employees who were loving working from home. Some that are thriving and are much more effective and efficient than they would have been even when they were working from the office. So having such a diverse workforce, it made us to think outside the box and to say, okay, we can't stagnate and we have to do something for them. We have to motivate, otherwise people can get demotivated, distracted, and just coached. And because of this, we needed to inject a sense of rejuvenation, if I can call it like this, something new as we continue to work from home. So we organized focus groups via Zoom with employees chosen randomly and with people that volunteered to attend. So these sessions really were aimed to identify business opportunities based on the skill sets of customer service. And after a good brainstorming, the majority of our staff agrees that they share a passion which is to play games, right? And as PC gamers, the internet is their place to be. So social media support came up. Many of you already have social media support in your organizations, I'm sure, and we do as well at Blizzard. We have social media support, but this support is not done via the customer service team. This support is being provided by our community team based in France. So of course, I love the idea. I love the idea of using my staff to do the best, but in a different platform. And in this case, it was social. So I guess varying from the one-to-one interactions to the one-to-many. And we spoke to the community team who were reluctant at the beginning, but we involved them from the get-go in training and coaching our staff. We made them to own the initiative, which helped to get their buy-in. So we positioned this as a pilot, as a trial with volunteers. We told them, if this doesn't work, we will stop it. We will drop the initiative. But of course it worked. And we reached out to thousands of players who engage in social channels while resolving issues. Today, beginning of Q2 2021, we have more than 70% of our workforce social media trained. They work in our CS forums, in Twitter, in Facebook, and Instagram. They're not only customer service representatives, skilled in issue resolution, in problem solving, but are also social media experts. And we achieve this, working from home with a can-do attitude. So, our staff now is ready 100% for future opportunities or for promotions, whether they come, I guess, internally or even outside Blizzard Entertainment. So when we talk about things that are critical for an organization, we talk about empowering leaders. So Blizzard is an organization with a very talented workforce. We have plenty of innovators, creative people extremely savvy and knowledgeable. So while we work from home, we have given flex time to our leaders, flexi shifts. So we have empowered them to manage financial budgets in regards to virtual team building events, purchasing IT equipment for the people that we had at home and had not a single item. And we have given the opportunity to have no meetings on Friday afternoon. So their calendars are kept free to catch up with admin work. So autonomy, I guess for me, the fundamentals as well, of the management and the management team, at Blizzard and Blizzard Cork, is autonomy, respect, and trust. These are fundamentals that we instill within our group. And we continue to empower our leaders. So as we were continuing doing this, we felt that something else was needed. In other terms, we had people, we had emerging leaders, we have staff that could do more for our teams and our business. And we had to provide opportunities. And this is how FOD, Focus on Development, came up. So Focus on Development is an initiative where people participate voluntarily. It gives people a first-hand opportunity to lead a group. It allows people across different functions of our business to get together digitally to propose and implement business ideas. So the time of the queue is provided if activities don't occur during peak daily intervals or busy time periods. The leaders who are selected to lead groups are employees who may not have managerial experience, but have a can-do attitude. They are supported by managers, but from the distance. So in this way, they can shine for what they do and how they behave. Sometimes, I confess, these groups fail. So the leader was not strong enough, the idea was not feasible, or the group didn't come to any consensus as the idea was developed, and so on. But many other times, ideas are generated and they are ready for implementation. So why do we do this? So we are shaping a stronger future workforce. In Blizzard, we are committed to staff development by providing first-hand experience. And in this way, our people, frontline, customer service agents, game masters, as we call them, have experience firsthand with conflict resolution and have understanding the importance of the change management and how to influence others that don't even report to you. They are understanding how effective communication is, which is key to your success. And we're empowering them to be a better employee, a better leader, a better person within their role or for future roles. One of the many books that our staff can avail and have been, provided when working on projects have been that one of Maxwell with the principles of successful leadership. So as Maxwell tells us, if you're a leader, the true measure of your success is not getting people to work. It's not getting people to work hard. It is getting people to work hard together. And that takes commitment. So I read commitment here as an advancement. So I'm committed to advance. So this is why I do this. And some of the business suggestions, amongst many, to share with you that these groups, led by employees, that came up with would have been a global mentoring program with our Asian colleagues. So thinking globally is one of our Blizzard core values. We have the experience in Europe at managerial level. Why not mentoring our Asian colleagues who have recently been promoted? They also came up with creating the multicultural event, gathering people not only from the Cork office, but from all our offices in the world. Why not spending some quality time together playing our games? And this also contributes to many of my, to one of my objectives about creating a safe, diverse, and inclusive workplace for all. It is proven that having a happy workforce, operational excellence is easier to achieve. So make the most of your people. As leaders, in the office or now working from home, we should strive to provide an environment for enabling growth and development and creating these opportunities and making sure that these are offered to those that want to pursue them. As you know, it wasn't everyone in our workforce, but it was a good majority of our staff. So for me, a leader plays a critical role in the advancement of the organization. And many people will say, oh, Anna, you are so lucky. You have such an incredible and passionate workforce. And I really am. But I also work hard and I lead by example. And I'm always there for my people, for my players, for the customers, internal and external. I take care of them. I encourage and support them to try to grow. And if one doesn't try, he or she will never know what outcome and opportunity could bring them. And before I give the floor to Jessica, I want to share with you a quote from Shonda Rhimes. She's a dedicated and passionate TV producer, an American TV producer. And if you haven't heard of her, I'm sure you would have heard of a series that she has written, like, Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, Scandal. So think about yourself when I read the quote and feel good and laugh. I actually always do when I read her quote, which actually sits in at my work from home desk. I'm not lucky. Do you know what I am? I am smart. I am talented. I take advantage of the opportunities that come my way, and I work really, really hard. Don't call me lucky. Call me badass. And with that, I leave Jessica to share with you some of the key success stories achieved, including her personal one.
Thanks, Anna. And hi, everyone. The first story I'd like to share with you would be a project that was set up to support one of our biggest game launches of the year in November, which was Shadowlands. The strike team was designed to implement initiatives to support our fans and to ensure our game masters enjoyed the experience from the unique setting of working from home. I guess the best way to describe it would be by employees for employees. And we had 40 employee volunteers working on a total of 23 initiatives to help us with the successful launch. And setting up an EU project seems simple enough at first, but then when we moved from the office to working from home within a weekend, kind of everything had to change. But with the expansion coming regardless, and for this to continue, we knew we had to focus, and I wanted this initiative to work. So Shadowlands was to be our first ever major WoW launch from home, and setting this up from home seemed like a crazy idea. And I won't pretend, when this first started, I had no idea what I was going to do. But I worked with Anna and some of the other managers that had volunteered to help, and we really got things moving along quite quickly. With any product launch, we love to celebrate, we love to enjoy the excitement, but we also really need to work more efficiently than ever. And we knew there was going to be none of our high fives in the hallway or any of our canteen hugs, but we really wanted to keep that passion and celebrate the awesome milestone that we had for WoW, whilst working safely from home. And as you can see from our logo, we had three main pillars. We had a health and well-being pillar, we had a knowledge pillar, and an effectiveness one. And these pillars will run separately by different teams and different leaders, and they had very different agendas, but the plans still need to be supported, encouraged, and at times directed. However, this is where focus on development really demonstrated its importance. And we had 35 reps and 5 managers, but within those 35 game masters, I also had junior leaders. I had contributors with excellent organizational skills or design ideas, just like this logo here, which was actually designed by one of our game masters. And being able to tap into that talent and experience was really beneficial. It's a lot of work running this project across 2 sites in a completely new working environment. But we learned a lot along the way. We documented things, we learned from mistakes, we had weekly sync ups, and we always had like a backup plan in case, one of us lost internet connection or we had to dash to school to pick up the kids. And I'm really proud of what this team achieved. For the first time running one of these strike teams as well, we were able to share it with other regions and demonstrate the work that we'd done. So I'd just like to share with you a couple of the things we did because they were kind of cool. So I'm just going to take you through how we kind of kept the buzz and the excitement and motivation whilst working from home. We ran some photo contests, some digital posters. So here's one of ours. This is a countdown poster designed by, again, one of our game masters, just sharing one of our favorite quotes from a fellow colleague and why they love playing World of Warcraft. And we launched these, as I say, on a weekly basis. We also had a second one, which is coming up next. So here was our second week launch one. We also ran like an EU-wide Harry Potter Cup kind of style competition where points led to prizes, and this was all curated by our game masters. And as we're not in the office as well, we couldn't just turn to the game master beside us if we had a really weird or difficult case. So we wanted to promote our in-house experts. So we also came up with some artwork to be shared to kind of publicize that. And then finally, we also ran some art contests. We have some really truly talented people in our organization that can design things. And one of the design artwork can be seen here. It's really awesome. And a lot of these were also shared with our artists over in the US. And then the next one, whilst may not be the best, it's also a really good attempt to demonstrate the fun we like to have. This is one of our murlocs. I guess it kind of looks like a frog, but yeah. And as you can see, we managed to deliver a variety of initiatives digitally, but none of this would have been successful without the talent of our workforce, making us smile at strange times or sharing the love for our products. And as the strike teams come to an end, we're still focusing our efforts on areas where our staff can make a difference, which leads me to my next example, where the initiative Anna was speaking about earlier regarding social media really helped unlock the potential of one of my game masters. So during 2020, one of my GMs took on the opportunity of learning how to offer our fans social support and engagement. And this is where things really changed for him. He really went above and beyond his responsibilities and became a really strong peer role model in this project. The employee has always been an awesome employee, focusing on his tasks. However, by utilizing his product knowledge and passion for engaging with the community, we've seen a great shift in his involvement. He's been empowered to engage with our community on a one-to-many, engage with our social media experts and our community teams. He's been delivering feedback and suggestions on how to improve the service and also social interactions. And from here, he's currently helping us make the most of our people by delivering tailored support and peer workshops. He has increased motivation and he's exploring opportunities and connecting with new people. And recently, he's also decided to start looking at educational opportunities within this area. So I'm really proud of the work he's putting and how he's taken this opportunity and how he's running with it. And here are a couple of examples of the work that he does. So he interacts with our players and he uses that player knowledge and gaming experience that he has to kind of work with them and share the excitement. And both of these tweets actually generated over 1,000 impressions on Twitter, which means they've either been viewed or clicked about 1,000 times. But this is just one example of the benefits we've seen from developing our CS people and increasing our service delivery. Which is something I kind of did when Anna spoke to me and approached me and asked me to talk to you guys today. So I'm just going to talk to you now a little bit about what happened there and share my development journey, I suppose. And when Anna approached me to do this, I won't lie, I was kind of terrified, but I'm kind of glad I've done it now and that I'm here sharing this with you. And as Anna's mentioned, it's important to look for those opportunities and to grab them. A big part of my development comes from taking on new opportunities and new challenges and looking to get involved with them. But I'm not unique in doing this. We have many managers here and many managers at Blizzard that do the same thing. And Blizzard's really supportive of our career development, but it still takes motivation to get us there. And especially when it's easy to sit working from home, surrounded by distractions. You know, I have 2 young kids and it can be difficult at times. But in this slide, I've just listed a few areas that have helped me stay motivated. I like to have large projects on the go. As I mentioned previously, my 9.0 strike team. Finding a new peer mentor can be really helpful. I've worked with Anna for many years now, and I even still have opportunities to learn from her when she makes me think of something that I hadn't considered. Building a network across Blizzard. Something I'm particularly aware of while we're working from home is making sure my game masters don't lose out on that. If they escalate something to me that needs to go to the game development teams, I keep them in the loop so that it could lead to further opportunities for them as well. And then finally, education and books. This is probably a more personal one to me, but I'm quite a reader and I recently started a workplace psychology course. It's something that's interested me for years, but now I've gained a little extra time without having to do that commute to work. I thought I'd give it a go and see how it pans out. So I suppose the message I'm really trying to convey is that opportunities don't always find us, and it's important to keep looking for them. Discuss them with your manager, your peers, and see what else can happen. And if you don't want to be a mentor, if you don't feel that you need a mentor, perhaps it's time that you could be a mentor for somebody else. Anna and I also just wanted to share some of our favorite quotes on the topic of development. Personally, my favorite is the first one. If you don't try, there's no opportunities to succeed. And that really resonates with me and how I continue to look for new opportunities to grow.
For me, my favorite is to take every opportunity that comes your way. Most importantly, have fun with it. No matter the outcome, make the best out of it and enjoy the ride. And with that, we are finishing on the dot now. Dorothy, we are 11:30. I'm not sure if we have any questions, and we will be glad to answer that. As you can see there, just to everyone, we have our email addresses there as well, Jessica's and mine, so that, you know, feel free, really, and we really mean it, feel free to reach out to us if you want a one-to-one, or if we can even actually brainstorm a few of the ideas anyway that we have implemented in Blizzard Entertainment and may be useful for you and your organization. Anything that we can do to help you, you know, in our industry, we will be glad anyway to do. Thank you, Dorothy.
Thanks, Anna, and thanks, Jessica. Just I'll take a couple of minutes. Mary has made the observation, more proof that company culture is the key to success. And I know from the times I've had the pleasure of visiting the offices in Cork, in Blackpool, your culture, your values are all over the walls. They sort of, the building lives and breathes by the values you have. So I think one question I'd have, because I'm conscious some of the companies in the webinar this morning obviously aren't in gaming, and I know sometimes when people look at Blizzard, it's like a completely different world. But the principles and the things you've done can be carried into any industry sector. So the reinforcement of culture, are there any tips, Anna and Jessica, you can give on that in terms of how, with everybody remote now, you're managing to keep that there and alive?
Mary, from my point of view, is all about the values, the beliefs, the behaviors. And one of the things that obviously has been a challenge, we work from home and we don't have, as you were saying, Dorothy, all the artwork that we have around the business, around the office, right? But what we have done is we have very pretty backgrounds when we go into Zoom ourselves as well, and with the focus groups that we talked about, the ongoing development things or initiatives that we have in place, we're maintaining that culture. We have, we talk to the managers, we encourage them to continue, caring about our people. I think the most important thing is culture of an organization, it's something that can be taught. And we have an opportunities as individuals and leaders to implement what we really want our organization to be. Obviously, that reciprocates with the founder of the organization, and the top executive team. But I think it's critical that most importantly is that your staff, your people feel that no matter if you are still working from home, that they feel identified, that you care for them, and that you are focusing on them doing their very best. So that had really worked for us. Jess, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I suppose what I would add there is that, yes, while we're unique in that a lot of us are gamer geeks, we all still have those kind of hidden passions that could be celebrated in any organization, whether it be, I suppose it relates to our core value of embrace your inner geek. We're all geeks at heart, but about different things. It could be about games, it could be books, it could be cars, and just to celebrate those and share them and appreciate them, really. That was what I would add to that.
Thanks for that. And Mary has come back just to add, all these initiatives will work in any company or sector if applied in the right way. It's the sentiment that's important. Maybe the execution will have to change, but overall it's about the culture. So thanks, Mary, and great to see you joining us this morning. And then quickly, one last question from Caroline. Caroline says, finding this so enlightening, how hard was it to stand back and observe the teams at work? So I suppose that's the whole delegation trust. I know that has come up in other webinars before.
Personally, Caroline, for me it was easy because I really one of my values is about trusting my people, and I knew when I gave the direction, when I gave the views in what we needed to achieve, and I really kind of one of my strengths, I guess, as a leader in the organization will also be about empowering the people and knowing that I trust them and knowing that making mistakes, it's okay. So if they fail, they learn from those mistakes. And one of the things, it was easy for me because we always did the checkpoints. So say, for example, every week, every second week, even if they didn't have much to share, we were just checking so that I could provide them with feedback, or I could provide them with encouragement, or what, you are in the right direction. And I think that was extremely important as we moved, into the future, because I personally could see that they were heading in the right path. And if they weren't, very subtly, managers were helping people anyway, to have that right path. And I think, from my point of view, just that checkpoints that we had make me really realize oh my gosh, even despite of working from home, and I have to say it has been very challenging, and despite of people getting together via Zoom and then generating ideas and everything, they were growing so much. So it was easy for me because I really saw the growth that was happening on a weekly basis and on a monthly basis and every, second month. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
Perfect. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Jessica, before I close out.
No, I mean, on a smaller scale with the Strike team, I would have done very much the same thing. The managers that I worked with there had years of experience. I knew I could trust them. I'd worked with them for a lot of them for like 10, 13 years at Blizzard. So for me, I think it was a bit easier to kind of just rely on my colleagues and allow them to fly with the project. So yeah.
Brilliant. Perfect. Well, listen, thank you both so much. I really appreciate your time this morning, and definitely a lot of food for thought. And your details are there. So as you said, Anna, you're more than happy to Jessica, to talk to anybody that wants to follow up, or if they want to come back to me directly. So thank you so much. Thanks to Niamh from WSI. We're back on board again next week with another webinar, which I'm trying to remember as I'm sitting here looking at my desk. Avant Card. We have Avant Card with us next Friday, or Avant Money as they're now called. So hopefully some of you can join us for that. And thanks so much, and have a lovely weekend, everybody, and stay safe and take care. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Jessica. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.